Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a highly requested recipe to share with you guys. I cooked this chicken harvest recipe over on my Instagram stories last week, and so many of you guys asked me to share this on my YouTube channel. I also mentioned this recipe in my fall grocery haul, and a lot of you guys asked me to share it as well. So I am going to be sharing it with you today. This recipe is seriously so delicious, so easy to make. I love it. It's healthy for you, and there's so many ways you can change it up. So today we're going to be using chicken thighs. I talked about in my fall grocery haul that chicken thighs has so much more flavor than chicken breast. So I love doing this recipe with chicken thighs. We're also going to be using sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts and red onion. But what I love about this recipe, you guys, if you don't like any of those vegetables or you don't have those on hand in your fridge, you can definitely switch them out. I've made this exact same recipe with baked potatoes sometimes. I'll slice up some potatoes. I've made it with carrots. You can switch out almost any vegetable for this recipe, which makes it so much fun because you can just have this recipe on repeat. Like, I have it at least once a week, you guys, in so many different variations. So we're gonna get started with this recipe. It is seriously so easy to make. It only takes about 40 to 50 minutes in the oven. And what I love about this recipe is it's not one you have to babysit in the oven. You can do other things. Like last week, I popped it in the oven. I did a little at-home workout, and the time I was done with my workout, my dinner was done. So it's so good for busy people. Let's get started with this recipe. So before we get started with this recipe, we're going to go ahead and make our balsamic glaze. So I'm using some avocado oil. Avocado oil has a really good heating point. So I'm also using some balsamic glaze and also some balsamic vinegar. The balsamic glaze kind of sweetens up the marinade, makes it really good. And I'm using some fresh herbs as well. I will leave all of the exact measurements down in the description box. And I'm just seasoning it up with some garlic and basil. I usually use fresh basil, but I was out of it. And I'm also using some pepper and some sea salt. Once you have all that added, go ahead and whisk it. We're going to go ahead and move on to our vegetables now that we have our marinade all done. So I like to peel the skin off of my sweet potatoes. I find that it cooks a lot better. Now, if I'm making like sweet potato fries, I'll keep the skin on, but if I'm like roasting them for like a sheet pan dinner, I always take the skin off. So once you have the skin off, I am just going to slice my sweet potatoes in cubes. It roasts much better the smaller they are. Try to make sure they are as close in size as possible so that they roast evenly. And now I'm just transferring the sweet potatoes to a cookie sheet that I have lined with some parchment paper. Now for the Brussels sprouts, I just chopped the end off the Brussels sprout and cut it in half. Super simple. Chop the end off of it and cut it in half. You can definitely cut it in fours if you like them to be a little bit smaller. And like I told you guys in my intro, you can definitely switch out the vegetables. I switch it out all the time. Sometimes instead of the Brussels sprouts, I'll do broccoli. Sometimes instead of the sweet potatoes, I'll do potatoes. So this recipe is super fun. So now I'm just taking that marinade that we made and I am topping it on top of the vegetables. Now, a step that I would not skip is really massaging the marinade into the vegetables. I would do it with your hands, especially with the Brussels sprouts. They have so much grooves on them that you really want to make sure that the sauce gets all over your vegetables so it's very flavorful. Now, I almost forgot to add my red onions. I'm so glad I remembered. So I usually always have onions like sliced or diced in my fridge. So I already had these sliced and I'm just putting them on the sheet pan dinner and making sure I get that marinade on those as well. Now, I did go ahead and pop the vegetables in the oven. I like to give them a little head start because I find that if you put everything in the oven at the same time, the vegetables will kind of be crunchy, which no one wants. So they get a 10-minute head start before the chicken, which gives me time to season the chicken. So I just season the chicken with avocado oil, some seasoning salt, some garlic powder, some black pepper, some paprika, and a little bit of salt because obviously the seasoned salt is salt. You can definitely season your chicken however you usually season your chicken. This is like my go-to seasoning whenever I'm like baking chicken in the oven, having chicken breast, chicken wings. This is like my seasoning combination, so it works really well. But if you like other seasonings, you can definitely do that as well. And I'm doing the same thing with the chicken. This grosses me out watching it, but you guys, it gets the best flavor when you really take the time to massage the chicken with your hands versus using like a tong to kind of toss it. You can just wash your hands after. Everything's gonna be okay, but you're Your chicken just gets the most amazing flavor when you really massage it, especially with chicken thighs because it has so much skin. So the vegetables got about a 10-minute head start. They're definitely not done cooking, so I'm going to go ahead and top that chicken on top of the vegetables, and then we're going to be popping this back in the oven for 40 minutes. I like to cook it for 40 minutes, and it's perfect every time, but usually like for 3 minutes. After the 40-minute timer goes off, I will kind of broil it for 3 minutes to really brown the top of the chicken. But this is a recipe, like I told you guys, you don't have to flip it or check on it. It cooks in the oven, and just leave it alone, and it will be perfect every time when you take it out. So this is how the recipe looks straight out of the oven. I just cooked it for 40 minutes, and then the last 3 minutes, it's definitely optional, but I just put the oven on broil so that I can really get that crisp on top of the chicken as well as the vegetables, and you can see how good this turned out. So this is how I'm serving this delicious recipe today. I had some leftover brown rice, and I'm just taking the vegetables, topping it on top of the rice, and then I'm gonna put the chicken on top of the rice with the vegetables. You can definitely skip the rice. I just had some leftover in my fridge, so I'm using it up. But doesn't this seriously look so good, you guys? It's the perfect, healthy, flavorful dinner. Okay guys, I'm going to enjoy that chicken harvest sheet pan dinner. It's seriously smelling up my entire house. It smells so good. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. If you have any other fall recipes you want me to cook up on my channel, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it and film it for you guys. I will be seeing you all very soon with a new video. Bye!